Hi guys, I'm Saumya and I am back with another video for you guys. So today's video is a recommendation video where I'll be recommending 10 books to you guys under 150 rupees that you can get your hands on because they're so great. So if you are a book lover, then you should definitely subscribe to my channel Saumya'sbookstation as I make loads of bookish content on this channel. If you like this video, do not forget to give this a thumbs up and also share it. And do not forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. So the purpose of this video is pretty clear from the title itself, to suggest you guys books that are great reads and also that are quite accessible in terms of money so that you can read great literature for really less money. So yep, I don't say this quite often, but if you feel like getting your hands on any of these books, then please do consider getting them from my Amazon affiliate links because that will be really helpful. So let's get into the video. The first book is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. So I read this one on my Kindle, but even as a paperback, this book is available for less than 100 rupees. So in my Kindle, it was around 50 pages. So if you are looking for a book that is a self-help book which is simple yet effective, then you should definitely go for As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, because this is the kind of book that is so concise. It comes straight to the point, and yet in those 50 pages that my Kindle edition had, it gave me so much wisdom and so much positivity. As a Man Thinketh is a book that talks about how your thought process can affect your life, and there is absolutely no beating around the bush. There is no marketing gimmick. This is the kind of book that does its job very quickly, and it doesn't give you any time to get bored. And there is so much to take from this book and so much to learn from this book. I mean, all I can say is that if you haven't picked the self-help book up, you definitely should, because it won't take much of your time, and whatever little time you will spend on reading this book, it is going to be worth it. The next book is A Handful of Nuts by Ruskin Bond. So this one is a novella, and the story in this book is taking place in 1955 when Ruskin Bond was 21 years old. So this book is kind of autobiographical in nature, and it's kind of fun to guess that what might be the real event that is being talked about in the book and what might be fiction. That really adds value to the entire story. Another thing that really adds value to this novella is the range of characters in this book because of their quirky and fascinating personalities and how they come together in this story. So because this story is taking place in 1950s, it has a certain old world charm, and also it takes you back in time. The vibe of the story is something that really makes you nostalgic. It also makes you wish that you were alive during that time. The entire feel of A Handful of Nuts is that the story cherishes a time that was much simpler. There were no technological advancements, but life was uncomplicated and beautiful. The next book is Collected Stories by Rabindranath Tagore. So this one is a collection of 10 short stories by Rabindranath Tagore, and these stories make you emotional for one reason or the other. Some stories are about the sufferings and misfortunes of people, and some stories are just individually generally emotional. On the whole, this collection of stories is very impactful and beautiful. If you haven't read a book by Rabindranath Tagore, this one can be a starting point for you because you will get introduced to his writings. And obviously, needless to say, this book has been translated from Bengali to English, but the translator's name has not been mentioned. This book is published by Wisdom Tree though. This book actually took me back in time because it has a relatively popular story called Kabuliwala by Rabindranath Tagore that I had read as a child in Hindi. It was emotional then, it was emotional to read in English as well. So if you haven't gotten your hands on this book, you definitely should, because it's a great book. The next book is Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. So a man named Gregor Samsa wakes up from his sleep to find out that he's not a human being anymore. Instead, he has transformed into this huge insect, and he doesn't know why that has happened. When his family members discover his transformation, they are terrified and repulsed, and nobody can really blame them. So Metamorphosis is basically a story about how Gregor Samsa's life progresses post his transformation and how his family members basically behave with him. So this story has a lot of themes going on. It discovers the theme of a trapped existence, it discovers the theme of isolation, and basically this story throws light on some truths that we as human beings would rather not acknowledge or rather not face. So Metamorphosis is a story that made me cry quite unexpectedly. This was a book that had kind of a tall order to live up to for me because I had heard so many good things about it before picking it up, and this book really justified all the praises that around it. The next book is I Have Never Been Unhappier by Shaheen Bhatt. So this one is available only as Kindle. It is not available in any other format, and it is available for around 15 or 16 rupees. The price of this book is negligible. Shaheen Bhatt has talked about going through depression. You see, this is the kind of book that I personally feel is very important. Again, this is one of those non-fiction books that are really short but very wholesome. This book is around 60-70 pages long, but it educates the reader a lot about depression, and it talks about how depression is not just something that one is imagining. It's a proper legit thing that requires attention. So this is the kind of book that if you have been through depression, you will relate to this book. And if you are somebody who is not sure about what depression is exactly, you can pick this one up to educate yourself, because maybe there might be people around you who are going through depression, and probably you can become more sensitive towards them by reading a book like this. My next recommendation is Birthday Girl by Haruki Murakami. So this is one single short story that you can get your hands on. It is available as paperback, and it is available for less than 100 rupees. And if you want to read more stories by Haruki Murakami that are available for less than 150 rupees, you can also go for the book Desire. But I recommend Birthday Girl specifically because it is available as a really pretty paperback, and Birthday Girl is the best story in Desire. So if it is available separately, why not go for it? It's a story about a waitress whose 20th birthday turns out to be quite uneventful. She spends her birthday waitressing until she has to deliver the dinner to the owner of the restaurant where she works, and something really unusual happens. So Birthday Girl is the kind of story that has all the elements that Haruki Murakami is famous for. There is a dreamlike quality, something really weird yet fascinating is happening, and there is obviously an air of enigma that makes the entire feel of Birthday Girl to be very mysterious. The next one is The 365 Days by Nikhil Ramteke. So this is a story about a man named Shijukuti, who is a fisherman who comes from a small village in Kerala. Now Shijukuti comes from the poor section of the society, and having seen people around him who changed their fortunes, who went from rags to riches by going to the Gulf, also prompts him to do the same, because he also wants to change his social and financial status. So in order to go to the Gulf, he basically mortgages his house and he incurs a heavy debt upon himself. So the focal point in the 365 days is the lives of the Malayali laborers in the Gulf, but it also talks about the general plights and predicaments faced by the laborers coming from different nationality, their dreams and aspirations, and the challenges and issues that they face. On the whole, this is the kind of story that has not sugar-coated anything. It presents straight up reality, which is why the story can get very gloomy, but it is very moving and engaging at the same time. The next book is Life is What You Make It by Preeti Shenoy. So it's a story about a girl named Ankita who is a student of a really good college. She's just starting out in her life. She's a bright student. She is ambitious, and basically she knows what she wants to do in life. She's beautiful. She has a great future ahead of her. So Life is What You Make It is a story about how even though you might have an entire plan about your life chalked out, life can still go completely wrong. So how Ankita faces the challenges that life throws at her, if she emerges triumphant at all or not, is what this story is about. And honestly, this story is very close to my heart, and I believe if you are just starting out in life, I mean you are just out of school or you are going to begin college, then this is a book that you should go for, because it gives some really truly valuable life lessons. The next book is Persuasion by Jane Austen. As you can see, this particular edition is the inexpensive one. That is why I have included it in today's video. So Persuasion is actually a delightful story about this 27-year-old girl named Anne Elliot who is unmarried, and there is no possibility of her getting married anytime soon. 8 years ago, Anne was attracted to and kind of engaged to this guy who was a naval captain, but for one reason or the other, things between them did not really work out and he left, but Anne never really stopped loving him. Now 8 years later, he comes back in her life. Now he is very successful and circumstances have changed. It's a very lovely, nice kind of a story, and it has the classic Jane Austen vibe that I so love in her book. The next book is Atilla by Vivek Kumar. So this is a Hindi book और ये संग्राम सिंधु गाथा सीरीज की पहली किताब है. इस सीरीज की दूसरी किताब मल्हार भी अभी आ चुकी है। तो अगर आप अर्थला पढ़ते हैं तो आपके पास मल्हार एक किताब ऑलरेडी है जो कि आप पढ़ सकते हैं। तो ये सीरीज़ उस हिसाब से एंगेजिंग है और इसमें टोटल 4 बुक्स होने वाली हैं। मैं अर्थला इसलिए रेकमेंड कर रही हूँ बिकॉज अर्थला एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी है। अर्थला में बहुत सारे जॉनरास के एलिमेंट्स हैं। इसमें फैंटेसी है, थोड़ा बहुत माइथोलॉजिकल फिक्शन का भी इसमें आपको फील आता है। सो दैट वाज माय वीडियो recommending you guys 10 books for less than 150 rupees each. So it's basically great content for less money, and that's the best thing. So I hope you liked this recommendation video, and if you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description box. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.